This is how I make clear ice cubes with embossed designs. The place to start, spend like $35–50 for the True Cube system, or really any 2-inch clear ice system like OnTheRocks. With practice, you can create plain, clear ice cubes. And with a lot of upfront work with software, chemicals, and a 3D printer, you can make embossed ice cubes with your own designs. So here's the process I use. First, you create your design. You create a 3D model for a mold, and then you print the 3D model. And next, you fill the mold with silicone rubber, and then you get these silicone inserts that you put into your ice cube trays, and then you freeze everything. So there are many ways to get the same result that I've come up with. And you can use a different vector design program, and I use Affinity Designer. A different CAM program, and I use Fusion 360. A different 3D slicing software, and I use Ultimaker Cura, and a 3D printer. And I print with an old Monoprice Mini Delta printer. As far as design, it's really important to keep everything really basic with thick elements. You can create a simple or elaborate design in your Draw app and export the design as an SVG file. And if you know how, you can even skip the SVG file and create the design in a 3D CAM program. So the next step then is to create a model for a mold. In whatever modeler app you use, making the basic mold is fairly simple. You make a box and you add a design. With the software I have, once the model's created, I needed to export an STL file from Fusion 360 into a 3D slicing app, and I used Cura. And once the STL file is opened, the model can be positioned, sliced, and saved as a G-code file for the printer. A G-code file tells the 3D printer how to print the mold. Then take this G-code and transfer it to the printer via an SD card or a USB connection or the cloud or whatever. So then fill the mold with a silicone rubber solution. You'll need gloves, stirrers. I used wood, but you can use even silverware. Plastic cups, disposable ones like from old ice cream containers or yogurt cups, masking tape, and markers. I do put masking tape around the mold to stop overruns, and actually kind of gives it a lip after the chemicals cure. So for this particular chemical, it's equal portions of volume. And I used Mold Star 15 slow mix. And so you simply carefully pour the solution into a mold, and you wait for the solution to cure, and mine took about 4 hours. And then you can remove the silicone inserts, and whatever lip is there, you can just take a plain pair of scissors and cut those ends off. And now you make the cubes. You just pour tap water into the True Cubes tray, and you place these rubber inserts on a sidewall of the tray. And don't put them on the bottom or you'll defeat the entire purpose of top-down freezing. And then freeze the tray and the insulator and wait 24 hours approximately. So just follow the directions, hints, tips, and tricks for getting the True Cubes out of the insulated box in the trays. It's not always easy, and I've included a link in the description below. You'll notice there will be very fine striations or lines on the mold and on the embossed cubes. That, of course, comes from the 3D printer, and those little micro lines will melt within seconds on the counter, and certainly when a drink is poured over it. For what it's worth, I've tried several non-cube variations for an ice mold. One was for a ball of clear ice, The mold worked pretty well and the ball was clear, but it was pretty small, and it didn't seem to be worth the effort of making the mold and making the ice. I also tried a cylinder mold, but again, that didn't seem to be worth the effort.